Hey, y'all! You're now tuned in to the original podcast of A Stronger Foundation. Welcome. Some call me Doctor, others call me Master T. You can call me anytime. I'm Sweet T, the academic architect PDO. That's planner, designer, and overseer of the academic success plan for kids. So tell your neighbor or call somebody and let them know it's that time. Hey, y'all! Let's get building. Welcome aboard, everyone. The podcast title is It's Not Their Fault When Parents Are Too Busy. This title relates to the common circumstances of many parents in the lower and middle classes who, due to great demands of life, are unable to dedicate as much time to their children as they would desire. If you can relate to this statement, honey, I'd love to help you with your school project, but I have to work. Then you may be able to connect with the theme of this episode. I imagine that the ideal and intended way of life would be for kids to work hard to build a sufficiently solid academic foundation that supports their ambitions and aligns with their ideal destiny. This means that they avoided the drop off zone as a child, as well as the Great Divide, and then went on to excel academically to become the ideal version of themselves with the ideal career that allows them to not only survive as adults, but to thrive. In this way, as adults, they would now be able to fully tend to their children instead of trying to relive their childhood years. Here's what I mean. Think about all the adults you know that after hitting age 35 or 40, they begin to realize that they can't quite live the life they desire because they don't have the level of education necessary to acquire the kind of job positions that makes enough money to live comfortably without financial worry. Think about what you could do with the money if you were given $1 for every time you heard someone say, "Ah, if only I knew then what I know now." You could probably buy a small island, right? But what I am trying to show you as parents is that it is impossible to know then what you know now. And that is why you must become the know then for your child's know now. I'm not sure if you get that, but what I am saying is that you have to almost combine your knowledge and experience about the future with your child's limited perception of the future. They know what's happened in the past and what is happening in the present, but they cannot comprehend what lies ahead. So back to the adults. The average parent in America is too preoccupied with trying to stay afloat in life to be able to devote sufficient time and attention to their child's education. And this is why so many children develop learning gaps and fall through the cracks. This is why so much academic potential goes undeveloped. So, what puts these parents in this position where they are forced in a situation where, in order to dedicate the necessary academic support to their children, they must either quit working and face eviction, or make the more common choice to partially neglect their child's academic development. That partial neglect is the culprit for the major merging of a child away from their ideal future and from reaching their highest potential. It's the same culprit that kept the parent from acquiring their ideal destiny. You know, that type of destiny that would have allowed them to be more available to their child and hence be able to devote the necessary attention to the child's education that will steer them directly in the path leading to their ideal destiny. Are you picking up on a pattern here? So, when I say it's not their fault, I mean they shouldn't have to be forced to repeat the same pattern simply because the adults in their lives may have also been allowed to compromise on hard work as a child. And acknowledging that it's never too late to return to school to self improve, is it the most appropriate alternative if that option essentially utilizes the same time that could have been dedicated to overseeing the child's ability to escape this same fate? Now, obviously, I am not preaching to the choir of the Rockefeller family or to the heirs of the JP Morgan family. I'm targeting the middle and low classes. But are they hearing me? Consider this. If you had indeed known as a child what you know now, the same things that you would have changed are the same things that you can change for your child so that they can break the cycle. And so that they don't have to miss their mark and be forced to try and relive their past when they become adults. So that they don't have to be too busy to tend to their child's academic development. So then, what's the alternative to a parent who desires to commit their time to continue their personal growth and development? An academic success plan for their child. This is the most ethical win-win because it allows the adult to continue to pursue their ideal purpose while allowing the child to achieve their own purpose before age 35 and 40. So see, I don't necessarily expect a parent to teach their own kids unless they are capable and desire to do so. I'm quite indifferent to whether a parent should personally commit to the role of the key educational source for their child. I do, however, believe that as the main overseer of the child's academic development, a parent is responsible for securing academic opportunities that are sufficient as a means for consciously setting the child up for success. This means securing an additional academic relationship outside of the child's regular classroom experience. All in all, a parent, for whatever reason, when they are unable to attend to a child's academic needs, all they have to do is simply dedicate this duty to a capable entity. It's not that the teachers cannot completely suffice as the sole educator. Rather, due to a lack of time allotted for one teacher to effectively oversee the academic digestion of standards of 20 or more learners. It may be wise for a parent to invest in a separate academic source that essentially help to solidify skills taught in the classroom. Failure to secure alternative academic support of some form is like punishing a child with the ultimate consequence of falling short of achieving their full life potential. In many ways, undereducating a child is a present punishment that has the potential to generate into a future punishment. And in a word of consolation, no parents intentionally neglect their child's educational development. I believe it's just that oftentimes it's easier to simply let the schools handle it all and just put it out of our minds. Many parents attempt to appease this concern by saying, oh, they'll be fine. And sure, falling short of their life goal, it's not gonna hurt them physically. But so many adults deal with depression associated with loss of the dream they once had, that they never quite captured. And this doesn't have to happen. Sometimes parents say, my child is only in first grade, so I'll just keep an eye open and watch for signs. But they forget that the signs often don't surface until the gaps in the foundation has widened beyond repair. This is how most parents make the mistake of waiting for a sign. As a rule of thumb, I suggest to parents to be proactive rather than reactive. Now remember why I do what I do. I do it for the Thomas Edisons of our world. Those self-distracting students who just may hold the cures to diseases and the answers to present mysteries, and needs to be encouraged to work hard to build a solid academic foundation in order to break through into their greatness. Now, like Thomas Edison, some kids are strong in the ability to think outside of the box. However, if they are weak in efficacy and work ethics, they may never achieve the greatness that is destined for them. This broadcast isn't about trying to make parents feel good or bad. I'm trying to motivate parents to act. Because without you, all my passion, all my dream, all my mission, and my great vision, all of that is reduced to nothing more than a voice in a soundproof box. And so as I always say, I need you. And I beckon to you. Let's join forces to help our children to win. Don't allow a busy life to produce a lifelong punishment for them, because it's simply not their fault. Thank you so much for listening.